This is Artown Live, and I'm Oliver X, your host. Today, happy Artown. It is day one of 31 consecutive days of Artown in the community. Artown's 26th festival season is coming at you high and hard at Rancho San Rafael. 31 consecutive days of live events and some of the biggest names in live music. People that you know, Grammy winners, Oscar winners, Grammy nominated artists of all kinds. So excited to be back with you with live in-person programming, in-person arts events, 400 arts events this July for you at Artown. Tonight we're kicking off Artown's 26th season with the Hot Sardines, and that show is sold out, and we're so excited. Over 500 four-person pods have been sold, and I'm just so stoked about that because we really didn't know what was going to happen this year. So thank God for the vaccine and increasing public health confidence, and people are going out to ball games. I just saw Chris Payne last week at the Aces game, and people are just coming out in force to recreate and to get out in the summer and to enjoy being together again, something we haven't had in over a year. So Artown feels very blessed to be able to program and see everybody, and thank you so much for supporting Artown. Today's lineup, as we're going to talk about how to Artown, the different ways you can Artown at over 400 events in 31 consecutive days in Reno, Sparks, Carson City, and South Lake Tahoe and North Lake Tahoe. We'll run down a few events that the family can enjoy. We're also going to be talking to Chef Jonathan Chapin and Chef Shannon Tadeo from Reno Recipes, two of my favorite individuals. We're going to talk about their busy itinerary for Artown, which starts today at the Reno Town Mall, I think at 5:30, right there in South Reno. We're going to talk to Jonathan about not only his pivot into being a chef, but also and what he's doing to give back to the community, which is something that is near and dear to his heart. Something that I want to let everybody know is how did you Artown? The Artown adventure starts at artown.org. That's ARTOWN.org. And on artown.org, you can see all the 400 events that are happening at Artown 2021. And there are everything from burlesque to hip-hop dance, slam poetry, pottery, sculpture, everything that you can think of arts-wise, plus all the live entertainment that you know and expect from Artown every year. We're really blessed to have a great team assembled this year. Raquel Montserrat is our festival manager. Beth McMillan is our executive director, who's been here almost 22 years now, and she's done a great job every year coordinating Artown. Mike Esposito is our front of house. He's the guy that you always see first, you always call first to make sure that your Artown experience is top notch. And so we are delighted to be able to be working with some of the best of the team that puts on 400 to 500 events every summer in July in Artown in Reno. The Artown experience starts at artown.org, where you can buy tickets to any of the shows. Now this year, most of our tickets, now 75% traditionally of Artown events are free and open to the public. But because we put down $400,000 to do a pop-up, huge, humongous 40 by 40 with lights, sound, and state-of-the-art personnel and all the amenities, we had to ticket a good amount of events this year just to really break even on that expense. But I think you're going to be blown away by everything tonight with the Hot Sardines, which is a sold-out show, and then commencing with Heartbeat to Heartbeat, Eye to Eye, the Reno song, produced by Eric Anderson, the Eric Henry Anderson Band, featuring 48 musicians on stage, along with the notables. That's July 2nd, that's tomorrow night at 7:30 to 9:30. That's going to be an incredible event. The largest ensemble and assemblage of local artists ever on the Artown main stage. So we want to support our locals. Treating locals like they're stars, because they're ours, is Artown's motto. And we're so excited to be able to host our homegrown emerging artists like Huckleberry Road, Whitney Meyer on July 30th, the Sextones on July 9th, and many more. So we're stoked. Now, we want to teach people how to Artown. How do you Artown? You go up to Rancho San Rafael and you can enter on 3 different entry points. Off McCarran, you come down McCarran and then turn left or right onto Coleman Avenue. That's the parking area on the Rancho footprint. That unpaved lot can hold 450 cars. So you want to go there if you're worried about maybe you're running late. We know that you can get your car parked and be absorbed into that huge lot. Say you're coming off of Sierra Street, off Sierra onto Putnam Avenue, and then turn right into San Rafael Drive. And the first parking that you're going to encounter there is at the Arboretum. That's going to be to your right. Then going about 15 miles an hour, safe for you and pedestrians, go up to the next available parking lot, which is the Wilbur D. May Museum parking lot. And that's a cool parking lot that can hold about 100 cars. After that, you're going to go to the ADA parking lot, which is closest to the main gate. And if you're disabled or have special needs, you can park there with your parking placard, which is with your disabled parking placard. That's the closest to the main gate you can get. The next available parking is up a little ways at Peavine Pavilion, which holds about 50 to 75 cars max. It's a beautiful setting, you can't miss it. It's got a green top on it, the green rooftop, and it's a very rustic looking wood structure right near a water feature with bridges and ducks and woodland creatures. It's hard to miss. Then, if you're still coming up northwest up San Rafael Drive, you can go to the other parking lot that I referenced, which is the Coleman lot, which holds 450 cars. So 4 ways to park on the festival footprint. If you're coming in Washington Street, you can actually park in the neighborhood. Be courteous and not to be raucous when they're parking or leaving or exiting from Artown. If they're parking on Washington, there's people there. It is a community that's supporting Artown. We're asking people also not to park in the driveway, if at all possible, and block people's access to their homes as well. Be a good neighbor and come on out to Artown, and I think you're gonna be delighted with the amount of parking. Now, you might wanna ask, why Rancho? Why Rancho this year? What happened with Wingfield Park? Well, in September, when we were planning Artown 2021, we were in the midst of the COVID pandemic. And in prognosticating and forecasting the future of Artown for 2021, we wanted to make sure that we could present a safe festival with social distancing, hand sanitizing stations, 6x6 pods where people could be together but separate enough to where they could feel safe and confident in coming out to Artown with us. So that's the reason behind going to a 4.5 acre large open field where people are used to congregating at large events like the balloon races. We thought we needed that extra space and for the public safety and public health. So that's that. I want to tease now Chef Jonathan Chapin and Shannon Tadeo. They're coming up next from Reno Recipes. They're going to talk about their busy summer schedule and all they're doing for Artown. This is Artown Live. We'll be right back.
My name is Emily, the new owner. My name is Emily Reed. I'm an artist and I'm the new owner.
Artown Live. I'm Oliver X. We are joined right now by Chef Jonathan Chapin and Chef Shannon Tadeo. Welcome.
Hey,
Good to see you guys. Yeah, you can give yourself a round of applause.
How cool is that this year that the Culinary Arts is here?
I know.
And the way that it happened.
I know. Wasn't it great? Well, I speaking about journey back to cooking and culinary arts is got to be an interesting one. And I want you to share, like, why today Chapin, Jonathan Chapin, everyone knows you as Chapin.
Right.
We associate you with the alley in Sparks for many years. That's all I knew you. But you and food have a long history.
That's right.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
before I had gone into music, and this was years ago, I was an up-and-coming chef. I was going back and forth working at the Hotel Boulderado in Boulder, and then I was also at West Shore Cafe, and then I helped up over at Plump Jacks. So I had yeah. So I was literally an up-and-coming
Plump
chef.
Jacks.
Yeah.
I know Plump Jacks.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Balboa, and like the list kind of goes on. And then I did a saucier apprenticeship at the Rubicon in San Francisco, which was.
So you were really a serious chef.
Yeah.
The Rubicon is a great restaurant.
What happened is I got an opportunity to go into music, and I followed that passion for 20 years, and COVID hit. And in that 20 years, I had long-term sobriety. I talk very openly about this.
Sure.
And I had relapsed on pain pills after a series of surgeries. And so things went south for me for a while, and I was and really what happened was I was not doing good. I was certainly not doing good. And then COVID hit, and I lost my production company of 20 years. But I had made the decision then that I needed to get my life back, and so I got sober. And so one thing that I did was I was like, I don't have any money, but it was when everybody was hoarding, right? And so I'm like, well, I've got food, and I had seen online that people were like, and Reno's a blue-collar town.
It is.
And there was people that were like, I'm going my second period without a paycheck. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm concerned about the kids. And so I said, hey, I don't have any money, but I've got food. I can cook for you. Private message me, and we'll keep it between us. And instead of like doing, hey, here's a meal, it was, here's five meals for the week. Here's cereal and milk. Here's bagels and cream cheese. And
some staples.
Yeah, and so it was like, so that they could be on all those things, and it really kind of like blew up. Next thing you know, people were donating, and then it was like, okay, can we buy your food? And I was like, oh my God. And then I decided I'd always wanted to do a cooking show, so I was like, well, I'm going to start a cooking show because I'm not working. I don't know on the phone now.
Yeah.
And it just was thing after thing, and really it was all about paying it forward, getting involved in the community. And so it was kind of almost by accident that I got back into cooking. But while I was doing all this, I was like feeling so good, helping others. With any art, you express to it and you give it to people, and when it makes them happy, you get that rush that you feel good about it.
A different kind of high.
Yeah, so I started like really nerding out on food, and the show started blowing up, and then literally like about 2 weeks ago, I had asked Shannon about 6 weeks ago. She was ready to get out of the culinary business. She was not happy at her job. She had been on the show for the Tamale Girl.
Yeah.
And I said, I could get an employee, or I can have faith in the universe, not chase the money, and team up, give somebody a hand up. She's 20 years younger than I am. And I said, and this is her first business, and I've owned many. And I was like, hey, do you want to come hop on board, and we'll get you established? But the business plan is that we get this business successful, and then you buy me out, but you pay it forward to somebody else. And so we kind of Reno Recipes is now kind of turning into more of a brand, but also a legacy and a way that we just will continue for years to be the last stop for us to have jobs, but also give back to the community and pay forward. You know what I
I
mean?
love that. I
Weird,
love that story.
right?
Yeah, I love it. Shannon, talk about your food experience. What got you involved in the industry?
I honestly, I have a similar kind of background to Chapin, with substance abuse, and I was just getting in a lot of trouble. And
So like last year?
no,
I'm just kidding.
thank you for saying
I
that.
know, right?
When I was 22 years old, that's when I started my road to recovery, and I had already been in culinary school. Like, I don't remember signing up for culinary school.
It's all a haze. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm glad that I was, because it turns out like, hey, I'm really good at this, and I cooked a lot with my dad when I was younger, so it's just kind of a passion that I always had, and so since then I've been working, because I had to work a lot to make up for the damage that I caused when from 18 to 22. So yeah, I've been and working for a lot of the local chefs, kind of ping-ponging around, learning as much as I possibly can. But you know what, it just got stagnant. I wasn't learning anymore. There's only so much that the Reno community could give me, and I kind of blew through all that. So when I met Chapin, we met because my tamales, I do fundraisers for the tamales to give back to the community. So like when we met on that platform, it was kind of one of those things like, hey, we have the same thing going on,
Simpatico, yeah.
Yeah, we have the same morals and values. So, and the biggest thing for me is that Artown is the first big thing that we're doing as partners. And we are partnering with Chef Jay Rathman at PJ's.
Yeah, I
and
love that.
it totally just relit that spark for me, and the art of the food, the plating, mixing the flavors to an art form, that's something that I'm lacking as a chef.
I think I always thought that before I would do a restaurant, I would establish in catering, because then you have that word of mouth.
Right.
You have different pressure situations. You have to scale. You have to learn all the budgeting and buying. So how integral is catering to you right now?
It's okay.
Is it the foundation?
But it's totally the foundation. But what kind of sets us apart is, I was like, hey, if we're gonna do this, like, cooking's got to be fun. It's got to be challenging. We don't say, here, pick from a menu. We say, hey, we'll write you a menu. Every single client, we write a new menu for.
Custom.
Yeah. So it's not like, hey, there's 20 things for you to choose from. We're like, hey, we're gonna come up with what. That's how we approach it. So, and the other thing is when I do my cooking show, I never ever do a dish that I've done before. I literally, like, within 2 hours of showtime, I shop and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make something I've never made before, because I've got to keep it fresh. I got to keep myself challenged.
Right.
But I love the end result, because you've been on the show and it's
it's so
total
fun.
chaos, and then look at what we did.
It's so fun. Voila! I know, it all comes together at the end. I love it. And it's a great, congratulations on that too. It's so fun that you sort of bootstrapped and did something organic in social media.
Right.
You got your name out there and had fun every week, right?
Well, here's the thing: is we've actually to come on and we turned it down. The deal was, and it was like, hey, we're having fun with this. I don't want this to turn into something that's not enjoyable for me, and I don't want to have somebody else governing what we can do.
Your content.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So this sounds like been a big year of saying no, stepping back, waiting. When you're, in music and stuff, you're like, yes all the time. Yes, okay, we got to do this, and we got to stay pertinent. Where this is like, hey man, we can kind of pick and choose, do what we want, and kind of keep everybody happy in that, and we don't turn into the stressed out chefs that are like, oh my god, it's not. That's not our experience, because we bumped into that, and so we're like. But I do, if it's okay, I want to bring up something about Jay. He owns BJ's Barbecue.
Yeah.
That's who we're teaming up with.
It's a great partnership.
Oh yeah. Well, I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's Jay, the barbecue guy. What a lot of people don't know is Jay is actually the president of the Sierra Chefs Association. He's one test away from being a master chef. That guy probably knows more about food than anybody in Reno, to be honest with
Wow.
you.
You know so much more
Yeah,
barbecue.
I you
It's
know,
amazing.
I sit down and talk with them as we're doing all this stuff, and I'm like blown away. You know, I'm learning.
Yeah, I
and
know.
he's a guy that goes out and picks kids up, young people, and gets them into scholarships, gets them in testing, gets them some national publicity so that they can start their road, and that's something that he does continually. So the three of us coming together and then being able to explode like that is just, it's so great. And it's so great. If you guys don't know, Oliver was on the show. He had left some pans at my house. But when he was on the show, it was an Artown edition, right?
Yes, it was.
And so I
To
did this
preview,
crazy purple potato, like halibut
Yeah.
crab dish, and I tried to make it look like the Artown.
Yeah,
dish.
the colorful Artown brand, right?
Right. So I went to return him his pan, and all the people were in the office. I was like, "Oh, look at this dish I did. It looks like your logo." And they're like, "We need culinary arts, so will you be our guy?"
Yeah.
And it was just the
I know.
universe keeping
Magic.
going, right?
It was. Speaking of which, you got a lot going this month for Artown. Talk about what you have on the menu today. You're doing something
Yes.
over at the Reno Town Mall, 5:30, right?
Yeah. Tonight is our first one. We still have some tickets available. Hopefully, we'll be sold out quick. Can you pull up our menu?
Yeah.
And then, but today I know for a fact we're doing German potato salad.
Okay.
We're doing a cold vegetable medley, and then we're doing kebabs 2 ways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Jay's gonna do it. So if you come down and you get involved with the culinary arts, we're doing 7 events. $30 buys you a ticket. Now, as we've been talking, a proceed from all that we're doing, we're giving to local nonprofits. Eddie House, our center, and Hope's Clinic.
Tell me about this. What is the second way to do a kebab?
So different flavors. Jay is going to do.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Okay.
Jay-
So,
Jay-
so,
Jay-
it's going to be
Jay's doing his
a surprise.
Yeah, and then I'm going Hawaiian style, and so
Oh, cool.
yeah, so mine would be a teriyaki roasted, toasted sesame seed, pineapple, red onion.
Nice.
One of our sponsors is Verdi Local Distillery, and so we're gonna do garlic whiskey, roasted mushrooms on that kebab as well. And,
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. I did not eat yet, and now you're telling me about this. This is great. How can people participate? You talk about tickets, and they are selling, so
Yeah.
that's good. How can people go?
Okay,
and,
so
and learn. You know?
we set it up. We set it up this way. It's going to be live on our Facebook if you want to watch from home. $30 buys you a ticket. That money goes to feed you. That money also goes to go back into the community efforts. Or you can come and watch for free, and then we're going to be selling pulled pork, pineapple slaw,
Yeah. Nice.
wraps off the side. So you don't have to pay, but if you do pay, you get all the things. But we're gonna pull people up and have them, and we're gonna teach basic knife skills. We're gonna go over the mix. We're not gonna be like, hey man, here's this crazy thing, and then follow up. It's like,
Yeah.
cool man, we'll sit down and talk to you. And so if you're seated as well, we'll have interaction with you, and it's gonna be amazing.
The fundamentals.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Let's tease
We
a
even
few.
went and bought new chairs.
Did you? Guys, let's tease a little bit of the other Artown events that you're doing for us. I think there's at least 1 or 2 more.
Oh no, there's 6 more.
Yeah, oh, cool,
yeah.
cool, yeah.
So July 7th, we're at Eddie House, and we're gonna teach the art of summer salads, fruit, pasta. We're going to do teach you a couple different vinaigrettes, how to incorporate shrimp and chicken onto those salads, and that's going to be a great one because we've got all the kids volunteering and participating with us
Yeah.
in that as well.
Nice.
So and 100% of that is going back to Eddie House. Then we come back and we're going to be in Sparks because we need to get some Artown over in Sparks, right?
Yeah, we do. Always. Always.
And so on July 14th, we're going to be over at BJ's and we're going to do the art of the Cajun boil.
Dope. For folks who don't, they might be kind of barbecue fans a little bit, but talk about how big BJ's is here in Northern Nevada
Uh,
as far as
that guy-
influence.
I mean, he's got a fleet. He's involved in the rib cook-off, but I mean, that guy is pumping out food at it, and it's all quality. But
Yeah.
his whole kitchen is young chefs that he's
Mentoring.
molding
Yeah.
to go. So he's got a catering side. He's got, go as far as to say that my favorite breakfast in town, which is Reno's a breakfast town place, but his cheesy grits and his prime rib stackers.
Nice.
Yeah, so I
Cool.
mean, we're
Love
just
it.
so blessed.
But,
Yeah, I love
you know,
that.
he doesn't press it very much, but he does a lot.
Folks,
So-
let's go ahead and give one more.
Well, another person that we teamed up with is Meredith Townsend, who's
Oh, I love
on
her.
the Artown board.
She is.
But is also a nonprofit philanthropist in the area.
She
She's
is.
just involved in so many things.
Helped create our center.
Yeah.
And instrumental at the Eddie House and Northern Nevada Hopes.
Yeah, so that's where we're going to be on July 16th, and we're doing the vegetarian. We're going to teach you 2 ways to make veggie burgers from scratch. We're going to do a quinoa caramelized sweet onion salad, and then we're going to teach you the art of the charcuterie board.
Nice.
Yeah, so I mean, we're going to teach you all the knife skills. We're going to make stacks. We're having these nice boards stained and sawed, and yeah, it's going to be like over the top cool.
Meats and cheeses.
Yeah.
I like it.
And when we do
yeah.
sell out on events, if there's more people want, we will, especially the non.
Cool. Shannon Tadeo, Chef Jonathan Chapin. It's weird to say Chef Jonathan.
I know,
But I love it. If people want to know about Reno recipes, how do they contact you?
RenoRecipes.com. We have a Reno Recipes on Facebook, and also our Instagram is, we've got two. One was before Shannon, Chef Jonathan Chapin, and then Reno Recipes on Instagram as well. So we're super accessible, and we're very social media always. I'm sure we probably bug some people.
I love it. Thank you. All right, we'll be right back. This is Artown Live.
Awesome, sir. Thank you very much.
Welcome back to Artown Live. I'm Oliver X. It is day one of Artown 2021, Artown's 26th festival season, happening at Rancho San Rafael Regional Park and at over 100 locations in Carson City, Sparks, Tahoe, and beyond. It's going to be a great festival. I want to advise people that there are a few things that you're going to love from this year. Number one, you can see the decorative designs behind me, which are done by Sonora, Mexico-born Yvette Valenzuela, who was our 2017 artist who submitted but was not selected as our commissioned artist that year. But we went back in the archives in 2009 to pull out some of her great work.